I really love our food theme this morning because just like Romeo and Juliet and Tristan and Isolde, as well as Scarlett O'Hara and Rhett Butler, they were love stories made in heaven. Today our theme is food marriages made in heaven, and we're talking about food combinations that just go so well together. Chef Michael, how are you? You're going to be taking us through that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you well now?
I am. I'm good, thank you.
I love this food theme today.
Yeah,
food
fun,
marriages made in heaven. So you have a few perfect food combinations, things that just go well together.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are they? Because they look familiar to me.
I think a lot of it has to do with the feel in your mouth.
Yes.
So you've got sweet, sour, bitter, salt.
Yes.
But there's also the umami, which is the Japanese thing where you have the flavors, but then you have the emotion coming into it as well.
Umami.
So you have things like chocolate chip cookies and milk. Or for me, it's rusks dipped in tea.
Of course.
Childhood memories. So they conjure up all sorts of wonderful things in your mind as well.
Got some interesting...
But here we've got some interesting things. Obviously, sweet basil and tomato go together really well.
Perfect.
I mean, it's such a wonderfully aromatic herb. And when I smell that, I think of tomato immediately.
And it's great to have as an antipasti as well.
Oh,
you can have it on bruschetta, very nice
and
as well.
just to roll a little tomato up in one of those leaves, also
Gorgeous.
lovely.
Add a little bit of feta.
Yep,
perfect as
for
well.
sure.
Okay.
Now, and then of course chocolate and orange go together beautifully.
Love this.
Particularly if you're making a chocolate mousse or if you're making truffles or something like that, just to grate some of the orange rind into the chocolate.
And there's some chocolates that already have orange flavoring in them too.
Yeah, I mean there's round chocolate oranges. Have you ever seen them?
I have.
Yeah, lovely.
Yum.
And here we've got salmon and dill, which go together so well. Yes. You know, the Scandinavians make a dish called gravadlux, where they take half a side of a salmon and they pack it with dill, sugar, and then usually some kind of white spirit like vodka or something like that. And then just let it marinate for a couple of days, and then you serve it raw sliced. But of course the dill makes a huge
works great as a starter
impact.
as well.
And cheese and tomato goes together so well. Don't you love cheese and tomato?
Since I was a young one,
absolutely.
Cheese and tomato sandwiches. I mean, I think every single kid grew up with that.
For sure.
Every single child grew up with that.
And nice in a macaroni cheese too. Slices of tomato with the cheese on top, and then figs and blue cheese. Now, aren't these just the stuckiest little figs you've ever seen?
They are cute.
They're called Rond de Bourgogne. They're little round red burgundy figs, I suppose.
They're very cute.
And the green fig confit, that's brilliant with blue cheese as well, because you've got that lovely contrast of the sort of salty, creamy cheese and that lovely sweet of the green figs. Wow. So they're just some examples of marriages made in heaven.
This is perfectly, and you know what? This is nice because this is a marriage made in heaven. Me with this entire platter of delicious, yummy foods. Also, let us know on our Facebook page, what's your favorite classic food combination? We'd very much like to know from you, because I'm sure there's some interesting things that we haven't yet discovered ourselves. Well, after the break, me and Chef Michael are going to make a delicious baked hake dish, and trust me, you don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
By supporting the Hoedspruit Endangered Species Centre, that's where we found goodness. Pick and Pay, always there for you.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Espresso here on SABC3. Now, before the break, we talked about food marriages made in heaven, and now Chef Michael's going to be making us a very delicious baked hake dish, and I'd like to find out what really works well together when it comes to this dish. Chef Michael, baked hake, tomato, basil, olives, that's what we're making today, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, the sort of tomato olivey thing is very Mediterranean. Right, so now what I've done here is I've flooded the pan with olive oil.
I see so, yeah.
And it's a little bit hot, so I'm just going to be careful here. And we're going to put in some garlic.
Okay. I love your terminology, a little bitty hot.
Yeah, well,
I miss that so much, a little bitty hot.
And here I've got some anchovy. Now, I know a lot of people don't like anchovy.
I love it.
But what happens here is if you break the anchovy up, it really acts as a flavorant for the dish.
Okay.
And then we're going to just pop in a little chili here.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
Now that chili is going to come out later on.
Okay.
And then we've got some sweet basil stalks.
Lovely stuff.
And then our lovely tomato.
Okay. Is that just normal tomato?
This is a tomato, canned tomato.
Okay.
And then you just whiz it up with one of those stick blenders.
Lovely.
Right. so there we have our sauce. Now what you want to do is you want to cook this very gently for about 30 minutes or so, just to get all the flavors together.
Already it's smelling so divine.
Isn't it unbelievable?
All of those flavors are coming together so nicely.
And anchovy, so there we've got some salt and some grindy pepper.
Oh, that smells good.
And then you just leave this for about half an hour over a very, very low heat.
Okay.
And it just cooks away happily. And then you just want to perk it up a little bit at the end with a little bit of.
Now, when you leave it for half an hour, is that just so that all the flavors can kind of combine?
It just reduces down a little bit and strengthens the flavor of the tomato.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then, as long as you use a pan that you can pop into the oven, all you really want to do now is to take your piece of hake, and you know that you can buy this fresh from your local Pick n Pay.
Wow.
And they'll fillet it for you.
This is so delicious.
And all you do is you just nestle it in there.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of sauce over the top.
All right.
And then you can put the olives on, and we've got some nice pitted green olives here. You can use the black ones too if you've got them.
Okay, so it's not really going to matter in terms of taste, or would it be different?
Well, it will be slightly different because the olives do taste different.
Yeah.
I'm just totally berserk for olives. I just love the flavour of olives.
Well, while you're popping those green olives in there, if you'd like to make this recipe, our baked hake with olives and basil and tomato, all you have to do is SMS the word fish to 33728, and we will send you your Pick n Pay shopping list and the link to the recipe as well. And as you can see, it's really quick, it's really easy and quite delicious as well.
Oh yes, now I'm just putting these are some caper berries rather than capers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just squidging them up a little bit so that...
And the reason for caper berries?
Well, I think we simply, because we had them in the fridge here this morning.
We had them in the fridge.
You can use capers. What you want to do is you just want to wash them. You want to wash the olives as well, just to get that sort of briny flavour away. And then all you do is you just simply pop this into the oven for about 15 minutes or so, and then when you want to have a look at the fish, you just part it. Yeah. And what you want is you want your fish just to be going translucent. Yeah. You don't want to cook it completely because it's going to take time from the time you've taken it out of the oven and popped it into the plate and taken it to the table. And then here we've got the final dish.
Ta-da!
And then all you need to do is just to shred some lovely sweet basil over the top. And of course the heat of the tomato is going to let all that lovely aroma come free.
Beautiful. Well, it looks absolutely delicious, and if you missed any of the steps that we used in making this delicious dish, check this out.
Cover bottom of a pan with olive oil, then add garlic, basil stalks and anchovy and fry over medium heat. Add chili and tomatoes, then season and simmer. Add lemon juice, remove chili, add fish and spoon over some of the sauce. Sprinkle with olives and capers, then bake at 200 degrees until fish is just cooked.
Well, once again, if you would like the keyword for this very delicious recipe, all you have to do is SMS the word fish, and we will send you your Pick n Pay shopping list and the link to the recipe as well. Thank you so much, Chef Michael.
Such a pleasure. Lovely being with you.
Lovely having you with me in the kitchen again. I really, really missed this, and I really missed your delicious cooking as well.
Thank you.
Now, talking about seafood, Graham recently went to go and check out the launch of the Sassy Seafood Circle. And of course, this is just about creating awareness about sustainable fishing. So let's go and check it out.
The ocean is one of our greatest resources, and Pick n Pay and Sassy strive to protect it, honouring chefs and restaurants that serve sustainable seafood.
Janine, first of all, congratulations. The setting is perfect. It looks like you've got a wonderful crowd already. Tell us exactly what is going to be happening in this evening's proceedings.
I love Sassy. The thing that I love most about Sassy is that it gives consumers enough information for them to make a sustainable seafood choice. So if you want to make a difference in how our marine resources are being harvested, you can. It takes all the seafood on our local market and it breaks it down into 3 lists: red, green, orange, like a traffic light. So the green is the most sustainable option that you can choose. The orange has a few associated environmental concerns, and the red is a no-go.
Why is it so important to you as a retailer to be attached to a program like this?
You know, Pick n Pay, we depend and we're part of our communities and our customers. So that's why it's very important for us to share this information on how we can live more sustainably with our customers.
On the menu was seafood from the green list that includes favourites like hake and pole-caught yellowfin tuna. Consciousness is growing, slowly but surely, says Michael Oliver.
I think we've not looked after our marine resources, and I think an initiative like this is brilliant. I mean, it just draws attention to where one should be going. If you're a restaurateur, if you're a chef, where you should be going in terms of what fish you're using. But I just think that the more one gets this message out, the better.
Top chefs, bloggers and restaurants received Trailblazer Awards at the Seafood Circle for their outstanding commitment to using sustainable products. Criteria included restaurant policy, communication with diners and going the extra mile.
Claire, well done. You must be over the moon with tonight's success.
I'm delirious because it's always nerve-wracking when you do something like this. But there was a very serious message in it, and we adjudicated these chefs from all over South Africa. And what was heartwarming is, on the adjudicating processes, there were figures that, there were 20 different criteria, okay? And, people say, oh, I'm sticking to the green list. And then when you drill into it, or you go and do an inspection, actually, some of them aren't. But it's very important. The chefs that are here tonight were truly remarkable, and they were ahead, really, of everybody else. And that's why they're the trailblazers, and that's why they got the awards.
Major part of our concept is to be sustainable. So since the day we've opened, actually, we've only used green listed fish. So I've developed a really close relationship with Sassy, and they're really good at, giving us the support that we need.
I have a fairly large following on social media, particularly on Twitter, and so it's great to be able to share this. People often tweet me and ask me, where can I get sustainable seafood? Should I be concerned? How do we get the word out there? And I'm enjoying being able to be like the megaphone or the voice to be able to connect that relationship between chef and end consumer. So really that's the space I think blogging fills.
For chefs to turn around and say, we're going to serve a specific fish, specific meat, sourced in a certain way, it sets the trend, and it helps to create that awareness, which means that as a diner, you can go and you can eat comfortably at those restaurants and not have to worry about where it came from, because the chef's taken on that responsibility for you.
Making sustainable choices ensures that our oceans remain abundant in resources. Is your favorite chef and restaurant a Pick and Pay Sassy Seafood Circle trailblazer? Visit Express's website for a full list of those honored.
By partnering with the WWF, we found goodness in sustainable fishing practices. Pick and Pay, always there for you.